can't believe I'm doing this. It's been so long. I feel kind of awkward. So welcome. I haven't posted in a while because I've been in the process of moving, and moving takes a long time, it turns out. And right now I'm in our new apartment, which is the midway stop between selling a house and buying a new one. And I thought it would be good to start out talking about sewing in small places. Because one thing I found since I moved, I had a regular sewing room in my old place, and now I have this small corner in the bedroom in the apartment. And that's what took me so long to get back into sewing, because I just didn't think I could do it in such a small place. But it turns out I can, and it's actually kind of more efficient. So I'd like to walk you guys through my new sewing space and then talk about some of the makes I've been making. If you'd like to see that, why don't you come along and stick around? So what did I have? I had 2 tables. These tables are about 4 foot by 2 foot and a corner of my bedroom. So I just placed them together, and on one table I have my serger and sewing machine, and I can actually sew with both of these on the same table. I just push one aside when I am not using the other and kind of bring the other one forward. So I kind of do a little juggle, and it's turned out to be fine. So one table for 2 sewing machines works out really well. And then I have the same size table for my cutting table, and this works really well for shirts too. So I plan on sticking to patterns that fit on this table, so I'll be making a lot of shirts and maybe some skirts as well. I think doing a dress might be harder, but I always have the kitchen floor if I want to cut something out. So while I was trying to figure out what to do with this small space, I came up with some creative ideas to use it the best. So I thought it would be fun to share some of those with you. Now, I haven't implemented all of these, but I plan to do so in the future. So the first thing I did was evaluate my tools. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but no matter how big or how small your space, you kind of expand to fit into it. And sometimes you overexpand. So in my last space, I had too many tools. And I really had to think about what tools were essential. And then I had to create a sewing kit with those essential tools. I think this is actually good for anybody to go through their tool set and just really focus on those tools you need and have them nearby so that you can pick them out whenever you need them. For me, my essential tools included measuring tape, pins, clips, scissors, patterns, of course, and I'll get to patterns later, and all of those small things that you need when you're sewing every day. So the list isn't huge, and it can fit in, you could almost get a travel bag or something that you could just, like a desk organizer or something like that, just to keep near you at all times. That's the first important tip. So the next tip I have is an obvious one. Get yourself a pegboard. This is something I don't have yet, and I didn't actually have it in my old sewing space, but I think you got to use your vertical space when you have a small space. So I intend to get a pegboard right behind me, and they make so many creative hanging solutions to store all sorts of things, especially if you go to IKEA. IKEA happens to be really near where I live, so I'm very excited to go there. And you can just hang your scissors and your tape and your thread and all sorts of things right on the wall. So that is a great idea that I'm going to implement soon. Now, one thing that I think is really important is to situate your sewing area near a window. So you can see I've done that right here. My cutting table is right under a window, and I think that really helps with natural light because small spaces might be kind of dark or not well lit. So if you can utilize the best sunlight in that space of yours, put your tables near that and it'll really help you out. So the next thing I had to do was figure out what to do with my patterns and my fabric. And I had a good solution for that as well. This apartment came with a hall closet. It's very narrow, but it is where you would keep your towels for the bathroom. So I took it over and just put all my fabric in there, and it's really a great spot. The other thing I did is I bought these cubes. They are, I spent about $60 on the set of cubes. You can get these on Amazon. They're super easy to put together, and they're just really light and easy to move around. And so I'm using those for the fabric for the projects I'm working on and also my patterns. So it's really important to have storage and organization so you don't have piles of fabric everywhere, and in a small space it's super important to organize like that, and I think it worked out well. So that's what I've been doing over these last few months, organizing my new corner. So I'd like to briefly talk about what I've been sewing in this small space. This top here is the McCall's 8256. I've made this one before, and I thought it would be a good project to work on as I got back into sewing, and it was perfect for this space. I love this fabric. I indulged myself and I bought some new fabric before I moved, and I did a little unpacking of some rayon off camera, but I actually have 2 more boxes of fabric that I bought 3 months ago, and I have no idea what it is. So I thought it would be fun to do an unboxing in my next video. So the next thing I'm finishing, I'm almost done with this, is a shirt for my husband. I figured I've been sewing a lot for myself, so he decides a fair shake on it too. So I did a collar with an under collar. This is my first time doing this well. I think I've tried it before, but it didn't turn out so well. I'm really slowing down. I don't know if it's a small space or what, but I've slowed down my sewing. This took me about a couple of weeks to do, and I spent like 2 days on the collar, 2 days on the cuff, and trying to get the sleeves right. And I realized that flat felled seams for shirts are perfect. They work really well, especially for men's shirts. I think I had tried the French seam on a shirt that I did, and I just prefer this seam for a shirt because it really keeps everything flat. So that is this. Very happy about that. And I also, this is some of the rayon I bought. Oh, I love this. I haven't decided what to make with this, but I think it would make an excellent dress or a peasant blouse. I'm leaning towards peasant blouse. We'll see how that goes, but I plan to pick out the pattern soon. If you guys have any ideas, let me know, and happy Friday. And I'm glad to be back, and I hope you're glad to see me. Thanks a lot, and bye.